Yo, 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 it's your boy D Star. I'm coming to you live from the pad. It's 2016. I got a lot on my mind. What's on my mind? Who's the greatest Laker of all time? Now, this is a difficult question to answer because we're talking about some of the greatest players who've ever put on an NBA jersey. Better yet, just to ever play basketball. We got guys who were Hall of Famers who came to the Lakers at the end of their career, and these guys were Hall of Famers. Okay, so we got what? Wilt Chamberlain, we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, we got Magic, Kobe, Shaq, you got Elgin Baylor, you got Jerry West. We got a lot. James Worthy. We had some great players. We're definitely all timers. You got Kobe. Kobe Bryant, just number 24. That makes you feel some kind of way. Well, let me just go ahead and just get this out. I think that Magic Johnson is the greatest Laker of all time. Now, before you get pissed off, you say, man, you don't know what the hell you talking about, man. Hear me out. Let me tell you why. All right? We're talking about a guy. Now, the team, they haven't won a championship since, 1972. And we're talking about a guy who got drafted in the 79 NBA draft, number 1. And he came into the league, won his first game of the season, one game of the season. He jumped around. He jumped on he jumped on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was another Laker great. But this is the only reason why we put Magic ahead of Kareem, because Kareem was already on the team. Magic came to the team, and the Lakers got all the way to the finals against the 76ers. 76ers had Dr. J, I believe Moses Malone. There's a pretty damn good team. But, Captain Hook, Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he got injured. Lakers had a lead. It was a 3-2 lead. Some coach named Paul Westhead, right? This guy was the coach before Pat Riley. And, pretty much Magic was in a situation where Kareem had got injured, sprained his ankle, and Magic was like, look, have no fear. Magic's here. So the president was like, who's this young dude? This dude's full of himself. Who do you think he is, right? He got out there in that game 6 and put it down. He put it down. 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and played several different positions during the game. Kobe, it's all-time great. Never going to discount that. As an individual player, yeah, I would say Kobe's a better individual player, because Kobe, he could play defense. He could play defense better than Magic. He actually made some defensive teams. Kobe did. But I give it to Magic because, listen, this guy was in his rookie season and won Finals MVP. He was the only rookie to ever do that. Just come in the league, pretty much get an unofficial triple-double, and he took the Lakers all the way to the ring. So off top, he letting you know, look, I'm setting the tone right now. I'm letting everybody know I'm Magic Johnson, and this is a thing that we call the Lakers. So that's why I said that Dr. Jerry Buss is one of the greatest owners of all time. I mean, is the greatest owner of all times because he was Walt Disney. Lakers were Disney, and Magic was Mickey Mouse. And I mean that in the most respectful way. It was, yeah, there's many characters after Mickey. There's many movies after Mickey and characters and stuff like that, but Mickey was the most popular. He's, so Magic set the tone. He created he created the tone. He letting people know. This is a Showtime brand of basketball. What I love seeing, what I hate that the Lakers ain't right now. And he ended up winning, 4 more championships after that. And this guy was just incredible. But unfortunately, I never got to see him. I was too young. I caught Magic at the very, very end of his career, if at all. I don't even think I was watching basketball at that time. I was too young. I started watching basketball, Lakers basketball in particular, when it was Nick Van Exel, when it was Sedell Threatt, Anthony Peeler, Vlade Divac, Cedric Ceballos, Corey Blunt. I think we had Pig Miller on the squad. I'm not sure. I don't even remember. Pig Miller. You guys like Pig Miller? Who the hell is that? Way back. Okay, I had my starter jacket. But that's when I started watching the Lakers. But as I got older, I wanted to do research. Crazy fact is, Bill Sharman was actually at my dad's 60th birthday party. And he let my dad put on a ring and all of that stuff. But I didn't know who Bill Sharman was. And some of you guys, you like, who the hell is Bill Sharman? Bill Sharman was a coach who coached Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain. Okay? And he was like up in office. They had him up in office like around the time that I think Pat Riley was coaching and stuff like that. But this guy was a Laker legend. I knew nothing about him. Now my dad did, but I'm like, who is this guy? I don't know this guy. At that point in time, all I knew was Phil Jackson. Dale Harris. I knew nothing before Dale Harris. All right. So when you actually pick up a book and start reading the Laker history, before saying, oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You saying Magic Johnson, Kobe scored 81 in one game. Can you show me a game where Magic even got 81 in one game? Two totally different types of players. You know what I mean? It's like I can't compare the two. You just can't compare the two. Kobe is just an all-time great. Magic is an all-time great. But I believe if you polled a certain amount of people and you said you had to start a team, 99% of them, they're going to have Kobe. I mean, they're going to have Magic as a point guard, and they're going to have Jordan as a shooting guard. And that's no slight to Kobe, but when you, we're just going off the Lakers, but an all-time Lakers team, of course. You got Magic number 1, you got Kobe at the 2. So it's like they're two totally different positions. I digress. All right, so look, that's why I think Magic is the greatest Laker. We're not going to even get into off the court right now. We just got, because we still got other players we got to get into. But that's why I think Magic was just incredible. Unfortunately, towards the end of his career, he contracted HIV, and he had to retire at that time because there wasn't enough knowledge behind HIV. There was a lot of stigma behind it. But it was sad, it was sad that that happened to Magic, but everybody thought it was a death sentence. But Magic's running around here like, I don't know, 20-something years later, 23 years later, like, hey, it's not fazing me. And that's incredible. I'm happy for Magic. He's just a winner at everything. He's just a winner at a basketball court, winner at business. And you know what I mean? The guy's nothing can defeat him. He just has a way of winning. Now Kobe Bryant, we're talking about one of the greatest of all time. I think that he is probably the second best greatest Laker of all times. And that's really sliding. That's really being disrespectful to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Really being disrespectful because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has the most points. Okay? He has the most points in NBA history. Nobody has pretty much gotten to where Kareem has gotten. For those who don't know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, before it was Lou Alcindor, he was LeBron before LeBron. They were following him at his high school, and he was like, oh my God, who is this dude? He's just dominating. He was what, remember, I don't know if people remember like when Tiger Woods was dominating. This is how he was dominating basketball back then. Okay. And played under Coach Wooden and Bill Walton. Bill Walton was his teammate. And, like I said, it was just a different time. And as he came up in the league, as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came up in the league and was dominating the league, he kind of got slighted because he didn't have the best personality. He wasn't Magic Johnson. He wasn't smiling in front of the cameras and shaking everybody's hand. See, now as an older man, he recognizes in hindsight, the past and everything. But now you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out, Rose Parade. Smiling and writing columns for I forgot what internet site, whether it's Time or I forgot one of these websites he writes for, big name. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was very aloof. If you guys like aloof, what's that mean? Standoffish. Wasn't the type of guy give you autograph. Definitely wasn't no guy that was going to, how we take selfies with athletes. Definitely was not no guy that was going to take no picture with him. And he did the media dirty a lot of times. He just kind of didn't want to talk to them, didn't want to interact with them. He treated them like they were beneath him. So a lot of times when it comes to these all-time conversations, it's sad that he never really gets brought up. But he is arguably one of the definitely one of the greatest, if not the greatest player to ever play basketball. We're talking about a guy who created the hook shot. It was unstoppable. That hook shot was unstoppable. Nobody couldn't stop it. So there's really no slight to Captain Hook. I recognize his greatness. But Kobe, I think, had got slighted a lot because of their rape case. He didn't win a lot of awards because of that rape case. But Kobe Bryant, we're talking about a guy who scored 81 points in the game against the Raptors. He went to Madison Square Garden, balled out. We're talking about a guy that's just a legend. It's like Jalen Rose said, he's the remix. He's the Michael Jordan remix, which isn't a bad. That's not like a slight. That's not a bad thing. Magic. I mean, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. This guy started the league playing with Shaq. 1996. 1996. They're playing at the Forum or whatnot. But by the time they get to Staples Center, it's rocking. And Kobe had the mindset of a leader. When he came, they had the workouts, and they have Michael Cooper guarding him. And Michael Cooper was regarded at that time, at least, even though he was retired, he was regarded as a great defender. If nothing else, a great defender. Okay? He was a great defender. But he said, man, I guess nothing I do with this kid. He's beaten. He's unstoppable. And Kobe was just, a young puppy getting drafted to Charlotte and got traded for Divac, and he came to the Lakers, and he was kind of like a little street ball kid, like a wannabe Jordan. Like, who's this dude? This dude's a wannabe Jordan, shooting air balls, coming off the bench, doing these flashy dunks from time to time. Had the Adidas shoes, was doing this little rap thing, but it was like, who is this dude? Who is this dude? This dude, who does he think he is? And Kobe was just, he was a man. He was the man. I mean, first season, I remember he airballed, was it airballed a free throw or airballed a shot against the Utah Jazz? And that next year he came back determined. And every year he got incrementally better. And we're talking about a 1996 draft that was stacked. Right? We're talking about let me go to the 1996 NBA draft. Man, it was stacked, okay? That was like after the Jordan draft, that was a big draft. You had Allen Iverson, you had Steve Nash, Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Like, who's that? Ray Allen, Stephon Marbury. Man, Antoine Walker. Okay, Marcus Camby. Ben Wallace wasn't even drafted. He came out that year. I mean, we're talking about that draft was stacked. It was stacked. Kobe, clearly, if they could go back in time, Kobe would be the number one pick. Then it would be Allen Iverson. And Allen Iverson, we're talking about a Hall of Famer. right? And they kind of saw him. He was just a high school boy. He didn't, Kobe came into the league, and he got better and better and better and better and better. And the reason was he hit peaks that nobody else could hit, because he was so much after, going after that. I want to get 6 rings. I want to be better than Jordan. I don't want to be Jordan. I want to be better than Jordan. Okay? And he was an asshole at times. He ostracized other teammates. Whatever the case may be, he was what he was, but he also was one of the greatest players. One of the 5 greatest players to ever play basketball. Mainly off of his work ethic. And I believe Phil Jackson argued that, Kobe had a harder work ethic than Jordan. Jordan was just naturally, he put in work, but he liked to party too. He liked to smoke his cigars and gamble and do his other stuff. But when he got on that court, he wasn't no joke. He wasn't. When Jordan was like turned it on, there is nobody greater than Jordan. So that whole against Jordan, the only person that you could even put up against him, it would be Kobe. Come close to him, because Jordan was he was the final level. He was the final level. he was that boss at the end of the video game. That was Jordan. Kobe's the only thing close to him. It takes a certain level of greatness to get 5 championship rings. You have to be different. You can't be like, I'm just going to come in and be a great player. There's plenty of great players that came into the league. Like Allen Iverson was, I would say, a great player. But what's the next level? Is unstoppable. Kobe for many years was just unstoppable. You couldn't stop Kobe. Kobe. It was like, whatever we gonna do, Kobe's gonna get his. Regardless, Kobe was gonna get his. So there's Kobe. Then we have Shaq. Shaq, you could say, was the most dominant center. He was the most dominant center. Dominant player for the Lakers, you would say, because Shaq was just, he was incredible. Nobody could stop him. They had created a hack-a-Shaq. They created a hack-a-Shaq. And before all this, what they doing to DeAndre Jordan, that's why Shaq is still irritated off of that, because they could not hold Shaq. Shaq was just unstoppable. With bad free throws, he was still unstoppable. And the whole argument between him and Kobe was that, look, dude, you could be that much more better. You could be, if he had Kobe's work ethic, you could argue that Shaq was the greatest underachiever, because Shaq had the talent. It was just, Shaq was like, look, I'm not no young boy like you. I'm not me. They didn't have the same work ethic. Shaq was a little bit older. He was like, I'm the sheriff of the team. I'm the sheriff. You follow me. And Kobe's like, no, I'm the first person in practice. I'm the last person to leave practice. See, if for you it's the other way around. You the last person in practice. You the first one to leave. So they would, and Kobe didn't like how Shaq was gaining weight and coming into his camp out of shape. And they would go at it. But even despite all of that, they were just, to me, the greatest duo in NBA history. And they hated each other. To me, with my own eyes, I think they would give the Bulls some problems. The Shaq and Kobe Lakers. But greatest duo is another video. Yes, there are many players that were great on the Lakers. Yes, there were Jerry West, okay? A guy who won the finals MVP in a losing effort. I mean, he lost the game and still won the finals MVP. The only player that came close to that was LeBron James. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's like a whole nother level of greatness. Like, well, damn, they lost, but he still was the best player on the court. So we still got to give it to him. That's incredible. Also, I would be remiss if I failed to mention Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain. You know, this was a guy who slept with 20,000 women. Now, Wilt Chamberlain was one of the greatest centers to ever play. He's really behind the reason, you know, you could say that there's a Lakers versus Celtics kind of beef. And, it's, you know, that's where the tradition starts. Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, back in those days, the guy I told you about, Bill Sharman. But yeah, that's my opinion. This could go on and on, but I had to make a video about this because I was just like, man, what? Well, anyhow, that's the end of this video. Tell me who you guys think is the greatest Laker of all time. I'm Eddie Starr. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.